Hello, everyone. My name is Benjamen Gussen. I'm a lecturer in law at the University of Southern Queensland. My area of expertise is basically in law and economics, in particular applications of economics to constitutional law, what came to be known as constitutional economics, basically in the tradition of James Buchanan, Gordon Tullock, and others. Today I'll be presenting my paper, Jethro's Advice, Subsidiarity as the Essence of Sustainability. I will be following the same structure, 3 questions that were given to me by the organizers of the event, of the World Congress. So let's jump into it. So the first point is about what's the main environmental problem. And in the paper, I elaborate on this using the idea of localism or the construct of localism. So basically, I say that the problem today with environmental law is that it marginalized localism as the primary response to the ecological crisis. And the reason I say that is that if you look at iconic environmental law instruments such as the Earth Charter, for example, you will find that it is almost completely tilted towards the nation state. So there's a privileged, if you like, status for the nation state in relation to international environmental law. And of course, the title itself, being international, says it all. This could also be formulated as saying that the problem is in relation to a link between environmental law and constitutional law. And the fact that this link is not actualized in many constitutions. Of course, there are exceptions, in particular in Latin America, for example, with Bolivia and also with Ecuador. But generally speaking, this is lacking in many constitutions. So the idea that subsidiarity is not elevated into a constitutional principle in relation to the application of environmental law generally. All right. The second point is, what are the key legal issues? In the paper, I delineate this through 3 different angles. The first being the fiction of indigenous people. The fact that localism and its marginalization meant that local communities generally don't have the same self-organization, self-governance afforded to indigenous people. Second point is in relation to universal human rights and the fact that these rights are generally individual rights as opposed to community rights. And the third point is in relation to the complexity imperative, and this is the most important one, because we became accustomed to thinking that complexity means that we have to have a hierarchy, we have to deal with it by more polarization or streamlining, rather than giving effect to self-organization and allowing emergence to occur. So, how can we then solve this problem of the privilege of the nation state and the issue in relation to the link between sustainability and subsidiarity? So I say basically that we need to emphasize the principle of subsidiarity as a constitutional principle as opposed to emphasis on the principle of sustainability. Sustainability will emerge once we are able to actualize subsidiarity as a constitutional principle that allows for self-organization. So I end on the point that subsidiarity would be actualized in things like charter cities and a new world order that takes these charter cities and makes them the building blocks of a new global approach to solving the ecological crisis. And with that, I end my presentation. My contact details are available in the paper itself, and I hope to hear feedback from all of you. Thank you so much.